here we go. Our last angle here we're going to do for our muscles. The back side. Okay. So move this over here. Myself a little room. And once again, start with a light gesture drawing. So as I was saying in the last video, even on a static pose like this, I mean, you want to have like some point of reference to orient yourself. You know, like you don't want to just try and go in and start drawing something. So I know where it's going to be, where I know where things are. And for me, that's what my gesture drawing kind of does. It just gives me that. Just to orient myself, you know. I have some friends, once you get like really good, who I've seen draw, and like just pros, you know, and they can just draw and they orient themselves in their heads. Like they just have all the structure kind of worked out in their mind, and they kind of put it on the page without having to draw it. And to me, that is amazing. And I am not at that level. And I think to get at that level, you still got to kind of draw it first, right? And then the more advanced you get, the less you need, the more you can just imagine. Imagine it there and draw it. But I'm definitely not there. All right, let's see here. Make your back a little broad. So bring the shoulders in here. All right. So I'm not liking about the legs here. I'm gonna try and work that out a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a midline, and then I'm gonna make adjustments if I need to. Line of symmetry. Okay. And let's see, just gonna tweak things a little bit. Over here too much. Yeah. I kind of drew my line a little bit too far over. I'm looking at it. I think the head is just off rather than the whole body. Again, I probably could have waited on this slightly, but let's do it now. Let's see, just a little bit over. I was just looking at it, and the back and the legs seemed aligned, and the head seemed off. Yeah, so the head's a little far over here. And these seem okay now. Okay. All right, it's time to take a look. Obviously, if I didn't have these midlines, I would want to check my gesture, make sure my legs felt long enough, or not too long, I guess. And I think she looks good enough to start on here. Okay, so let's get the shapes down. Start with that rib cage, so her head does not look like it's floating. All right. I got my neck cylinder, which is totally hidden in the photograph. But we know it's there, so you still want to draw it, even if, you know, Even if you're not going to see it in your final drawing, if you're drawing somebody with hair that went over, you still want to orient everything, make sure it's in the right spot. Okay, so my head oval. So right behind the neck, because my head is tilted forward. Okay, and moving back down a little bit. Okay, so kind of draw the back side here, this shape. Going with kind of like a, what's more helpful here? Usually try and draw like an underwear kind of shape here. And it's the most awkward shape, I think, to try and do, and it feels a little forced. All of the shapes feel a little more natural. This one feels tough. I think it's because the glutes actually are kind of different here. So let's see if we can get a little, let's just turn that more into proper shapes here. Right, so more of a round shape here. Almost like a top of an upside down heart. Even it out a little bit. So here we go, down to the legs. So I've got my leg cylinders kind of cutting into this shape now, right? Which is fine because that's really what happens. The glutes go on top. And then, again, remember, our thickest part is about here, right? And then we get the cylinder tapers down towards the knee. And I've got my knee sphere. And down to my lower leg. And I already kind of worked out this shape here, a slight curve on the outside. And then down to my heel, which really from this angle, let's just not use the circle. You can really see it from this angle here. Definitely more like a triangle shape. Right, and goes up into the Achilles tendon. And her feet are kind of turned out here. So I'm just getting a little bit of them on the outside. Okay, back up to the arms. My shoulders. You can see that one's a little higher. Not sure I helped it. Let's see, I did. Now I'm going to trim it a little bit. Okay. And then I've got the arm cylinder. Now this is going back a little bit, so I'm angling my cylinder back. I've got my elbow there, elbow spheres. And then the forearm cylinder facing the other way, tapering down towards the wrist. All right, we got just some fists here. All right, taking a look. I think It's looking all right for me, at least. Okay. Things I want to mark here are shoulder blades. Right, kind of like this little squared off kind of shape, but kind of slightly tilted out. Her traps. And I think that's pretty good. Okay. Once again, going to knock back everything. So, the back of her head. So from this angle here, if I try and keep the same hair, you're really not going to see much, but you'll see a little more in the ponytail, I guess, maybe. How short to make this back. Tucking behind her ears and probably then coming out. And I wish I would have thought of this ahead of time. But yeah, reference for hair helps me immensely. So highly, highly recommend it. Just find some kind of hair that you know, photo or something off anything, off the internet, Pinterest, whatever. And it does wonders for my drawings. Just making the hair look decent. Okay, so let's see a little bit of her neck here. And then the traps coming down at an angle to her shoulders. And you get a little bit of that bone kind of sticking out there. And then we got this kind of rounder part, but it kind of, like, the bone makes it kind of flatten out just a little bit, and then kind of go down and around. My shoulder looks higher. Am I? Oh no, I'm slanted. There we go. Lost my bump. Okay, so let's see here what we want to draw next. I'll just go with our arm here. So the deltoids muscles, the shoulder muscles, wrap around, right? And then the tricep is kind of like sitting here. Again, can't draw as much detail here, but you can kind of see it there. And wrapping around the outside, and wrapping around the inside. Around the outside, on the inside. And I don't think I want to draw any cuts, right? Just to keep it looking a little more feminine. Let's see here. So then we go in, and then around on the elbow. A little bit round right there. And I think I'm going to pause there and go back up. Okay, back up to the back. Okay, so we got the skin. Kind of doing this sort of thing here. And the body here, the little kind of cutting in like that. And then from the underneath the arm, we've got the rib cage. Okay. So the back, definitely not as much definition as the male's model that we had. So we got the shoulder blades kind of there, and I don't want to draw the whole thing. Like, I think I drew too far in now that I look at it. Move it out just a little bit. Just want to kind of insinuate it there. Right? Not like attach it all or anything. Little breaks in your lines are good for that. All right. And we've still got all those muscles coming here, just not as bulky. But for her, see a little more of the kind of split in the muscles. Okay, and let's see here. So we've got the split here. We've still got these muscles. They're just going to be a little thinner, right? And we probably don't want to draw much. As you can see, there's enough fat and skin covering, well, fat mainly, covering here. So we can't really see all those things. Now, we'll add a little more detail here. We've got here, and we've got in the photo. So you might see the lower lumbar back muscles here. And they kind of create this little, if they're defined, this little gap there. And these go down. And then we've got our glutes. Okay, which come down. And fold right here. All right. So let's see here. The muscles kind of wrap around here. She might get a little, like, almost dimple right there at the top. And then muscles wrap around the outside of the leg, but the fat kind of can cover up a bit of that. And let's see, might get a little indent here, kind of shape of the muscle. Let's see, so this waist part's gonna go down and kind of wrap from the outside. So like those, I believe they're obliques coming around, right? Create this wrapping from the outside here. And this little indent is going to go kind of into the thicker part of the leg here. Right? What about that midway point? And curve in. One part of the leg. And this is kind of the hip bone right here, I believe. This shape. I know you can't really see it on the photo, but I'm trying to add a little more. So we're getting really that same kind of straight a little bit, then out a bit shape as we did in the front there. Okay, and then the muscle. All right, we got to cover up here. Feeling a little too uncovered. And let's cover that up. Here are some bottoms. And I forgot to give her a top too. Hilarious. Okay, again, I'm just going to go with kind of a sports bra thing. Okay. All right, the legs. So a little bit out here and then curve round. And then a little bit rounder right here. So curving in for the thigh here. And then around a little bit. And then we go back in. Or out, I guess, more appropriate. Out. Where the knee is. Okay, on the outside, we've got a little bit of that kind of round part on the outside of the knee. Then we've got the calf muscle originating from like up here, right? But you get this like little pad, little padded muscle here. And usually a little crease, right? Where those legs bend. And the calf muscle coming from there. Going long. Long curve on the outside. The ankle bone. Oop, got a little off the page. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah. Long curve there to the ankle bone. And on the inside, a little more of a sharper curve, that calf muscle shape. All right, and this goes into our Achilles tendon with our ankle bone a little higher on the inside, coming from behind that. And then we got our Achilles tendon, right? And then kind of coming into the heel. Right. It's kind of a triangular shaped heel. And easiest angle of the foot here, just the outside. Can't even really see any toes. Easy. All right, just checking this out here. Make sure I didn't do anything too weird. All right, and that's pretty good. I mean, you know, maybe you could add some definition to calf if she was really, you know, low fat percentage, maybe, but we're starting to get a little too much muscle definition, maybe. I don't know, I'll add a little bit, see how it looks here. And this part, you know, kind of rounds out, so sometimes you can add a little definition here. There's actually like, kind of goes up a little bit. You can kind of see in the shadows on the photo's legs. There's like two parts. One round part here, one round part there. But again, you could just leave it like that, and it's fine, right? Nice and smooth. Or we'll add a little definition there if we want. Let's see how that looks. Okay, back up to the arms to finish this off. Okay. Let's go. We went tricep, then we stopped. So I'm going to go tricep again to the elbow. You can see protruding here a bit. Okay, and then we've got the forearm starting up here. Remember that muscle that comes around? Okay, and then the inside, kind of more of a See, it comes around, but it's really not that, kind of creates more of a straighter shape. This angle, and then you still get the kind of curve more on the inside here. Muscle, forearm, the wrist, I mean, and then this one still getting a little more of a curve there. I'm just going to thin it out a little bit. A little too bulky, I think. All right, and finally to the hands here. So we got that little bone. I believe it's the radial. Radius? Radial? I can't remember if it's radial or radius. Radial. It is a radial. Radial and ulna, I believe. I could be wrong, so please don't fact check me. And then for the outside, or the back view of the hand here, for the fists, we're going to go straight down here, the outside of the palm. And we've got this meaty part of the hand right there. Another meaty part of the hand for the thumb. You can just kind of barely see back there. And then we've got fingers. Sorry, I'm just looking back up here and I'm like, not liking the thickness of the arm there. I think it's the same. Okay. Then we've got fingers kind of curled up here. So I've got pinky finger. Let's draw another finger. And that might be all I need to do. The rest is in shadow. And hidden. Pinky finger. Other fingers. Okay, take a look at the whole thing. Let's see how it is. All right. There we go. We've got the female front, side, and back. All right. Hope you guys got a good drawing, and I'll see you on the next video.